Oh, is that who I think it is? Oh, welcome back, man. How you doing? Doing good? All right. I'm just here to talk about why I think the Denver Broncos, just like the Seahawks, like I was talking in the last video, why I think the Denver Broncos are also Super Bowl contenders. And reason number one, I'm gonna just start with off rip is the Denver Broncos defense. That defense is definitely the best in the league. They can pretty much go against any offense and take away their best player off rip. Whether their best player is a running back, receiver, it doesn't matter. A lot of questions, or I wouldn't even say questions, but a lot of people were thinking because of Surtain is the main reason why they're able to lock up these players. But even when Surtain missed time with his injury, they were still managing to take away a team's best player, their best threat. If I'm not mistaken, they didn't lose a game when Surtain was out. They went against the Chiefs, won that game with Surtain out. I can't remember the games off the top of my head, but just know that even without Surtain, this defense is dominant. I definitely do think that this defense should be up there with the all-time great defenses. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you look on paper, but even when you look off paper and you watch them play, this team this defense is one of the best. And another reason why I think that the Denver Broncos are also Super Bowl contenders is the fact that even with their inconsistency in quarterback play from Bo Nix, they're still managing to find ways based off this defense. And a lot of times we see great teams like the Dallas Cowboys, for example, this season. They have a great offense, but not a great defense, and you see where they're at. But the Denver Broncos are a team they have a great defense, but not a great offense, but they're still managing to find ways. Now, they don't have the league's worst offense. It's not nothing like that, but I do think they play good complementary football, and I do think that this offense is good enough to keep this team afloat. A lot of people are expecting the Denver Broncos or Bo Nix to come out here and throw for 4 to 5 touchdowns every game when he really doesn't have to. If you look at how this team constructed, this team is not built for Bo Nix to, put the team on his back and wear a cape every game. This team is built off of defense and the offense keeping them afloat enough for them to, win games. You see a lot of times, even though a lot of people give Bo Nix slack for being inconsistent or this and that, but me personally, I do think that Bo Nix is a very solid quarterback. And definitely one year I do think that he will be in a conversation, but he's not playing as bad as the media may portray or how some people will talk about him. He's actually playing pretty well, especially given that he doesn't have, a great supporting cast such as the Eagles or even a team like the Chiefs, or he doesn't have a great supporting cast. He just has solid players around him. One of the most underrated receivers in Cortland Sutton in the league. Then you have an emerging, wide receiver in Troy Franklin, and then you have a rising running back in RJ Harvey, who is also can easily be top 10, top 15 in the league in the next few years. But I do think that the Denver Broncos, they're just a very balanced and solid team, and they can really play any game however you want to play. They can score 30 points, 40 points if they really wanted to, or they could get in a defensive matchup, such as the Texans earlier in the season. They can get in a defensive matchup and pull it out and grind it out, or they could, get in a shootout. It just all depends on how you want to play. And I think their game definitely complements playoff football. Being able to, withstand the storm, being able to, basically just get it out of the mud. Being able to play grind football, being able to also shoot out. It just doesn't matter. This is a very balanced team that is led by defense, and there's not a lot of teams in the NFL that you can say are led by a defense, especially of the caliber of the Denver Broncos. Now, another team you could say is the Houston Texans, but I do think that the Texans are a little questionable as far as their offense. I think their offense is a little bit too shaky for me to take the Texans, even though their team is led by defense. But their offense is a little bit too shaky. The Denver Broncos at least can put up points when they need to. Just for example, 2 weeks ago when they were playing the Green Bay Packers, a lot of people expected that to be a defensive matchup. But for example, Bo Nix stepped up when he needed to, threw for 4 touchdowns. He stepped up when he needed to, and that is the type of play that the Denver Broncos need from Bo Nix. And a lot of people don't realize that. They're expecting him to put up, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes type of numbers, type of throwing numbers, when he really doesn't have to. He just gives enough to put the team in the best position to win. And this, like I said, this team's offense is caliber enough to lead them to the promised land, because their offense is not bad. It just may be inconsistent at times, but they've had more good games than they did bad games. And what else could you ask for? But yeah, behind this defense, I do think that the Denver Broncos are a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to be hard for any team to go into either Denver, or it's going to be hard for either team to just match up against the Denver Broncos and basically come out victorious, especially if they're coming into Denver and trying to beat them on their home field. And I just don't see that. There's not many teams that can do that. Like I said, maybe the Patriots, but the Patriots' inexperience could show up. But you could say the same thing about Denver. But like I said, this defense is experienced. It has its youth. Like this Denver Broncos team is going to be a force to be reckoned with for at least the next 5 to 10 years, for sure. Especially led behind this defense. But yeah, there's only a few teams. Like I said, maybe the Texans, maybe the Patriots. Like there's only a few teams. Maybe the Packers. But now since they lost Michael Parsons, it's going to be hard to really take the Packers as a favorite, or to expect them to come in and dominate. Because, like I said, Michael Parsons, he was a big part of the Packers' success. Especially once they traded for him, that shocked them up to being one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl, or to make it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I just think that it's definitely going to be hard for any team to just come in and dominate, and I was talking about the Packers, but the Packers are in the NFC, so just never mind that, unless they make it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, it's just going to be hard for any team to I don't see like many matchups that can happen. Now, I will say the biggest weakness of this team may be Riley Moss, the cornerback. Given that he's been struggling these past pretty much all season, most of the season. But I do think this defense as a whole is good enough to afford a weakness or two. Like I said, this team plays very well as a team in complementary football. This is not a one balance, or this is not a lopsided team where they have a great defense and a bad offense, or they have a great offense and a bad defense. It's very balanced. It's like they feed off each other. But even if the offense is not playing good, the defense backs up the offense. You know, and the defense backs up the offense and basically has their back and picks up what the offense is lacking. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. The Denver Broncos I have a Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos Super Bowl. You know, who would have thought? If you would have told me at the beginning of the season that these two would be two of my favorites to win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't have believed you. You know, especially how the AFC and NFC is looking, I wouldn't have believed you. But hey, that's just the life of the NFL, man. At the end of the day, these are high-level players, and anything can happen. You know. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you want, comment down, who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Who do you think has the best chance to win the Super Bowl? Or if you do have the Denver Broncos or Seattle Seahawks, tell me the matchup. Who do you think is going to win that matchup? Because that one, if the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos make the Super Bowl, that might be one of the best Super Bowls of all time. Because you have a high-powered offense alongside a high-powered defense. That's like a match made in heaven, you know? But yeah, that's all I got for this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Wait, did you do it yet? Did you do it? You ain't do it yet? Bro, come on, man. Come on, bro. It only takes 3 to 5 seconds. I'm not begging you to do it. Do it. Matter of fact, just do it if you want to. You know, but I'll really appreciate it. Oh, you did it? Appreciate it. All right, now I'll catch you on the next one.